This is Dr. David Allen. I'm talking to my colleague, my friend, my hero, Willam. There were two heroes. It was Andrew, what's his name? Andre Chappelle. He worked with me. He died. And then you are still left.
In fact, as a matter of fact, talking about Andre said something to me that more than anything in my understanding today about the disconnect between society and our young men was he did a teaching on addiction. And the first time when I understood that addiction is really the opposite of it is disconnection. And I bless his heart. May he continue to rest in peace. But the fact that he understood that, and I understand that now clearly.
Say it to the public, because Andre came up with this, but you also have found it. Addiction is what?
The lack of connection, true connection.
So as long as there's a lack of connection, young men are going to get addicted to crime, they're going to get addicted to using drugs, addicted to using guns, addicted to even hurting people, addicted to stealing, addicted to negative behavior.
Whatever they're surrounded by, that's what they're going to take on. And that's what's happening. And so that's why we must seek out people who are willing to engage them. And just to show them love, just to show them that you're willing to give them a chance.
Willam, you know, I just watching the past few weeks in the papers, the young men going before the courts for murder. They're such beautiful young men. Handsome, bright, intelligent looking to me. What's that, man? That don't make your heart hurt?
Yes, it does. I've been to court. I was counting in my mind as I was coming here for at least 12 young men since last year March. Either I've had to go to court or to the police station or some rehabilitation center. And I've never, it's never been to this degree. So I know I'm experiencing it. A lot of times I get calls late at night. Sometimes I get calls from one in particular young man who wants to commit suicide, who's depressed. At least 3 people I'm talking to right now are depressed.
You know, I've called you myself. This gentleman tried to kill himself, and I called you and I said, Willam, I can't go, but you went up to the hospital late that night, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, man. You're available. What gives you the heart to, you know, when I first met you and you did well, I said, Willam, you're so talented, man. And you have the gift of gab, you have the gift of talk, you have the gift of service. I tried to get you back in the hotel industry, remember that? And I couldn't understand in my head, why doesn't Willam want to go back in the hotel? Because I had people who would bring him in, get him all dressed up, because you used to be a butler once ago. You could talk the talk with anybody, but you wouldn't budge. No. You said, Dr. Allen, I don't want to make money like that. What were you trying to tell me? Because I was puzzled.
Well, for a long time I knew my father was calling me.
Your father, mean God?
Yeah, Yahweh, my heavenly Father, who delivered me and saved me for such a time. And when I came to that place that no matter what I did in life, I wasn't going to find no fulfillment and satisfaction unless I do what he called me to do. And so when that became my reality, that my life was to become his way of life, then I wouldn't dare touch anything else. Because for me to touch anything else now, to me, is death.
But you see where I was coming from. When you called me, they had you and your whole wife and children locked up.
Yes.
And were locked up somewhere.
Yes.
And you needed to have so much money, and I raised it. And I felt if I can get you working, but then you still said, Doc, that's not what I'm called to do.
No.
They were trying to personally get you to be on a butler for a night, you know?
No.
They dressed you up like a butler. And I thought, well, now he's got a taste of it. But you still didn't want to do it.
No.
Because you had in you this feeling that you had a calling.
Yes. I believe that's the only reason why I'm alive. You know, just to be shot at. I remember a situation where I used to steal out of this man's yard. And he caught me in his yard one day. He caught me in a spare tree. And he said to me, he said, if I catch you in my yard again, I'll kill you. And 2 nights later, I still went back in the man's yard.
Hoping he would kill you.
No, I don't know if I was hoping he would
No,
kill
but
me.
you were afraid to kill yourself.
Yeah.
But you didn't mind if somebody else killed you.
Yeah, because I didn't
You know,
care.
that's interesting. That's called passive suicide. I don't want to do it to myself. But if somebody could, you know, if my car could run into this tree or run into this car accident, that's why you check out the car accidents. They're not all just car accidents. Some of those are suicides too. You said, you know, I don't have the courage to kill myself, but if I go in the man's tree and steal with his fruit, and he shoots me, then I got somebody to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Explain that. Passive suicide.
See,
How does a young man get to that where they
you
say,
get to that place where over a period of time where you try to change and you feel like no matter what you do, it ain't working. Like you can't get the money you need, you can't get the kind of relationships you want, you don't fit in. So I felt hopeless. I felt like it was just better for me to be dead than to go on feeling ashamed.
so you say when young men get to that point, that's why they put themselves in harm's way.
Yeah.
That's why they go to the gang.
Yeah.
That's why they attempt things where they know they can get killed.
Yeah. Because they don't care. They don't know people looking down on them. They don't know, they don't feel like, at least that's how they feel, they don't feel like nobody cares. That's their reality.
So a lot of young men would put themselves in harm's way, hoping they would get killed.
Hoping they would get killed or hoping they get what they want. It's just that it ain't that they're hoping they get killed, it's just that they don't care. You don't care.
What's the difference? It's not that I want to get killed, but I don't care what.
In other words, if I do die in the process, in other words, I see I don't have what I want, what these people have. Nice homes, cars, clothes, etc. Jobs, etc. I can't get certain things in life, right? So, going through a period of time for so long where they feel they are being looked down upon, where they feel they are scorned, where they feel they don't fit in. So you reach a place where you just don't care. You say, well, yeah, I can take what I want. And if I don't get it and I die, well, so be it.
Well, there's one case where this beautiful lady came to the family one day and said, Dr. Allen, I went to my boyfriend's apartment. He had a hangman's noose over his bed, which meant he could hang himself, right? So I asked to see the young man, and I said, say, buddy, what's this about? I was shocked. It was just before Christmas. He said, Doc, I've lost my job. I cannot buy the kind of perfume set my girlfriend would want. Because to buy a perfume set from John Bull, you're paying what? Joy or Carolina Herrera, how much that can cost?
You're paying like, for a basket, you're paying at least $150, $200.
Okay, he said, I don't have that money, but some other guys in the gang could buy it. And therefore I know then she may leave me. So because I can't buy that for her, if she leaves because another brother buys it for her, I would just pull down my hangman's noose and die. And then I said to him, sir, but that's killing your body. How do you know you're not killed your soul? How do you know that killing your body means your life is over? Suppose the soul is still alive in another area. Now, help me to understand. He said, what do you mean by soul, Dr. Allen? No one taught me about the soul. What was he saying to me?
I'm not sure, Dr. Allen. But what I'm sensing he was saying was he was just been disconnected.
So if he killed himself, he was out of his problem. He wasn't worried about any accountability to God about the soul.
I'm going to explain to you now.
They don't think of that.
Right, because they're not in touch with that.
But I thought the churches taught that.
No,
Didn't they get
you could read about something.
They get religious education in the schools in the Bahamas. They go to church.
No. See, you could hear something.
So young men on the streets who try to kill them, they don't know about the soul.
No, they don't know about their spirit.
Sorry?
They don't know about the spirit. They don't know that there's something within them that if they get in touch with, that it would begin a transformation to change their whole life. They're not aware of that.
Now,
So
would you go further to say Bahamians are losing that too?
Yeah, in general.
But say, how do you mean Bahamians are losing spirit?
Well, this is what I mean. If you have something, you cannot give what you do not have.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying if you have a good body or belly full, if your spirit is not right, your spirit is not full, you're still like a dead man.
You're still like a dead man. And that's what is lacking. We got a lot of people going to church and going through the traditions and the rituals of church, but they are not church.
Which is good.
Right. But see,
it's good. They do that, right?
It's good to do that. But the most important thing is recognizing that I am church. I am a temple. And the living presence of the living God resides in me. And as he resides in me and grows in me, I'm able to influence others.
Wait, but how you learn all that, man? You learn that on the streets?
I
28 years in the bush, and how'd you learn all that?
I learned this because my father revealed to me. He showed, when I cried out to him, when I cried out for deliverance.
What do you mean cry out for deliverance?
I reached a place where I ran to my spot in the bush, and I cried till I couldn't cry no more. I said, God, if you will, deliver me. I can't live like this no more. And he showed me why I was in that state. He showed me my selfishness. I was arrogant, how I messed up everything I touched. He showed me me. He showed me my filth. And so only when I acknowledged that it was my filth and that I was filthy and hopeless without him, then he began to reveal himself to me and caused me to understand his presence.
You know, was that after you were put in the back of the car and locked up and threatened to be killed?
Yes, this was after.
Because this one drug gang locked you up in the back of the car. They were going to kill you.
Yeah.
And they drove you to a spot, and when the car stopped, you said, this is it.
Yeah.
I still don't know why they didn't kill you, because I thought they were going to kill you.
I thought so too.
Why didn't they kill you?
I don't know. I don't
Were you praying?
know.
Were you praying while you were
locked up?
locked?
Of course I was praying. In fact, when they popped the trunk,
What were you praying in the back of the
I was crying out to whoever in my mind what God was. See, I know today he is Yahweh. I know his name. But I just would say God. I didn't know. But see, I call him Yahweh because I want a personal relationship as much as possible. I don't call my friends, I don't say, hey, person. When I first met you, I addressed you as Dr. Allen. But when we're in certain group sessions or certain settings where you want to connect with those whom you are with, you say, call me David.
Right.
Right.
I'm only David.
Right.
And I'm nothing more.
So
I'm more David than I've ever been in my life.
So I called my Heavenly Father by his name. He said that's his name. So by me calling that, it helps me to see him personally. Because I realized without that personal relationship with him, I could go through all the rituals, do all of the good things, it don't mean nothing. And so the main thing, what I'm trying to do in these young men is help them to understand for themselves who they are and that they have a Heavenly Father who will able to...
So after that time in the back of the trunk where you knew you were going to be killed, and it's a miracle because that group, that gang, they don't play. And they did not kill you. You were praying to God, and so after that you decided what?
Well, here's what happened. After that encounter, I was starting to tell you about an encounter where I was in this man tree, and the man, I went back in the man tree 24 hours after he told me he would kill me if he gets me back in his yard. And all I heard is click, click. And he said, yeah, your mother, I got you now. And I dropped out of the tree right in the front of him. And I said, sir, please don't kill me. But I see he wasn't hearing me, he was cranking. And so I break off front of him, loud, loud.
He shot?
He shot.
But he missed you?
I don't know. At the time I didn't know because I heard that many times if you get shot.
So you fell down in front of him and you say, sir, don't shoot me. And he's still cranking?
He's still cranking the gun, right. So I ran.
It's a cold son of a gun.
No, so watch this. I ran into the yard, 2 doors down. And when I thought he was gone, I got up to leave. But as I got up to come out of the yard, I saw his truck pull up. And I was right in the front of the street, and he came out. And he came out with his gun. I was about to say, sir, please don't kill me. But then I noticed that he was looking around. So he was standing right in the front of me. And I heard him tell someone in the seat, said, I know he's in his car someplace, in his yard someplace, but I don't see him. And then he just put the gun back down, got in his truck, and pulled off.
Wait, now you think God hid you from
That,
him?
I know that only could have been the Most High then. That's when my
So
faith...
he meant to take you out.
Yes.
But you think that a miracle happened, but he couldn't see.
He couldn't see me. And I'll tell you why I know that had to be the Most High. Because even after he left, I stayed down for another probably half an hour.
Started that you were in the car or on the ground?
I was on the ground in this yard, hiding.
And he couldn't see you?
And he couldn't see me. No, see, I was standing up. His truck pulled right in the front of me. His lights was on me. And he's standing in the front of the truck with his gun in the front of me, and he couldn't see me. All he's saying to his friend is, I see him.
And he shot the gun. You heard him shoot the gun.
He didn't shoot it, no. He was looking. He knew I was in the yard. He just was looking, but I was right in the front of him, and he couldn't see me.
But you could see the gun.
Oh yeah, I could see the gun. I could see him clearly. Because the car lights was shining on me.
What were you thinking of praying then?
Yeah, I just was frozen. I just stood still like a statue.
And what happened?
And then he looked around some more, and then I saw him put his gun back, and he jumped in the truck, and he pulled back out the yard. And this is how I know that only had to be the Most High. I lay down for another half an hour.
This had to be what?
The Most High, my Heavenly Father.
That God interrupted, and that was a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it was after that incident, I would go into libraries, I would go into bookstores, I would steal books on religion and whatnot because I wanted to know the truth about who God was.
We're going to take a break and be right back.